Welcome to the Alliance of Nerds, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything nerd-related. My name is Michael, your connoisseur of all things Star Trek and Magic the Gathering related.
I'm Cameron, the resident Dungeon Master and Star Wars expert.
I'm Nick, I'm your master of Marvel and all things superhero.
And I'm Joe, I love video games and horror movies.
So we had D23 recently.
Yep, quite recently.
A lot of stuff coming out.
So, Marvel had 3 huge announcements for TV shows, as well as releasing some posters for already announced TV shows. But the new TV shows that they announced are Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Ms. Marvel.
Yes, Knight.
Now, we've been expecting... I think it's safe to say we've been expecting Ms. Marvel, because I think Ms. Marvel's character has already sort of been revealed within the Captain Marvel movie.
Sure.
She-Hulk can be easily guessed since, we have Hulk. But Moon Knight is something that fans have been wanting for a while, and Marvel has talked about making. In fact, James Gunn even pitched a script to Marvel, but he then later on said he didn't have enough time to work on the movie, so then those ideas got scrapped. But now we finally have a confirmed TV show.
And I am excited as fuck.
Yes, I think I'm definitely most excited for the Moon Knight TV show. Ms. Marvel probably next, and then She-Hulk after that. I do like She-Hulk, interesting character. I'm not sure how they're going to incorporate, or if they're going to incorporate Mark Ruffalo's Hulk into it. I don't see why they can't. It's really just a voice when it comes down to it.
Right. Well, what they can do is... it could be set, during the 5 years in Endgame, where, like, Banner is learning to become Professor Hulk, and maybe, Jennifer Walters helps him out with that.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Moon Knight? I don't even know.
Oh, okay. Well, I have that written down. I do have that written down. So Moon Knight, aka Mark Spector, is his origin story is he's like a mercenary. Like, he was in the Marines and stuff like that, but then he becomes like this mercenary. And then he goes to Egypt, and there's this like archaeological dig that he's sort of working for. And then one of the guys betrays him and like leaves him for dead in the desert. And then the god of the moon, Khonshu, the Egyptian god of the moon, sort of appears before him, and he's like, I'll let you live, but you have to be like my avatar, and you like spread the word and like fight for me type thing. So he accepts and then becomes this fucking Moon Knight, essentially.
So
it's a pretty good way to describe
the theme to him?
Yes, so he has like this he's a really weird character.
In the comics, he has what is it? Dissociative personality disorder.
He has many. He's schizophrenic essentially. He has like a bunch of personalities.
I'm picturing someone who's like 1/3 Indiana Jones, 1/3 astronaut, and 1/3 Winter Soldier. Right?
Okay. People have made comparisons to him of Batman, because he's sort of like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I have a quote for you, sort of differentiating the characters. Bruce Wayne fights crime to avenge the murders of his parents, whereas Moon Knight beats up whoever has it coming because he believes he is the avatar of the Egyptian god of vengeance, and it helps him to feel better about all the people he killed when he was a mercenary.
So he's way cooler, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
There's this great...
He also does have superpowers, unlike Batman.
And also, he is very much a R-rated character.
Yes, which is... I'm very interested to see what they do with that. I don't think Disney Plus will go R, unfortunately.
I don't know if they've said that or not yet.
Yeah, did they give a rating for the TV show?
They haven't given a rating for anything. I don't think Disney, it being Disney, will do anything rated R. Because I know they were talking about like a Book of Enchantment TV series that they just straight up canceled because they're afraid would be too dark.
Okay. Like, yeah.
But anywho, Moon Knight.
We know there are like the other Marvel movie that's coming out that's rated R, right? Isn't there one?
Deadpool.
Oh yeah, that too.
Other Marvel movie?
I don't think we talked about them possibly making Black Widow rated R.
Oh, maybe.
And Venom rated R.
And Venom too, yeah.
But
not confirmed.
The Joker just got confirmed.
Oh yeah, Joker got R rated. But that's obviously not Marvel, so
not Disney.
I just love. So I have this sort of frame from a comic book, that just like it's so ridiculous, but to me it's what Moon Knight is about. It's just Moon Knight walking down the stairs, and it has this speech bubble coming out, and his dialogue is, "I know you're here, Dracula, you big fucking nerd. Where's my goddamn money?"
That's what I want to see right there.
Mm-hmm. It's like...
Okay, yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I don't see that scene. Suing Disney.
For what?
For not including that?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say for including Dracula or something, but Dracula is a character in the Marvel comics.
There you go.
But yeah, Moon Knight definitely. Miss Marvel, I'm intrigued by, because I'm not entirely sure how they're gonna do it. So Miss Marvel is a character, Kamala Khan. She's like this. I
was about to say Kamala Harris.
No, that's
I know.
But Miss Marvel is a teenager from either New York or New Jersey. I don't remember. But she's like this.
Isn't she a mutant?
Yes. Well, she's a Inhuman.
Oh, so, Inhuman. That's right.
That's what I'm sort of getting into, is because she has the Inhuman gene, how that if they're going to change that or not, because there is the Inhumans TV show, which
was horrible.
Great. Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to tie that back in or what.
And then the Inhumans are featured heavily in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Like crazy huge, actually.
Okay. So
interesting.
Maybe that's a better avenue than that.
That just ended, right? Somewhat recently?
Final season's on, right, Nick?
Oh.
They might have been renewed. So for this season 6, instead of doing the normal like 22 to 24 episode, I think it's 24 episode season, they gave them a 13 episode season.
Okay.
I want to say just so it would be easier to have a more, direct storyline amongst the entire season, but they might have renewed them for like another 13 episode season.
Oh, okay.
Because it's been easier for them to, make this one storyline season as opposed to the 24 episodes. They were having trouble, kind of figuring out an entire plot line for those 24 episodes.
Yeah, something interesting that will actually take you 24 episodes to do.
Right. They did kind of solve that problem in the last few seasons when they kind of developed this pod system where like they'd split it up into 3 sections and then sort of have each section tie into one another in a cool way.
Okay, so tell 3 parts of a story and then at the end wrap them all together.
Yeah, basically. But I think this 13 episode season has worked out a little better.
Okay. So has all the episodes been released, or is it airing right now?
Yeah, I believe season 6 is done. I haven't finished it.
Okay, gotcha. But Miss Marvel and Moon Knight and She-Hulk, it has been confirmed that while these characters are going to be in their TV shows, they will eventually cross over with the movies. Like, that has been said. So it's not like we're going to get another, like, Daredevil situation or all those.
And I think that's safe to say, because, I mean, you have movie characters that are now turning into TV shows.
Right, yeah,
so.
Exactly.
As opposed to the Netflix series, which was, technically in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you have these shows which are going to have a much more prominent role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
Well, that's good.
And just one little note, season 6 is finished. Season 7 is confirmed, and it is also confirmed as the final season.
Okay. So... Oh, but you haven't finished season 6, so you're not sure if it's like if it could have been like a good wrap up or anything like that. You know what I mean?
They designed season 5 actually as a good wrap up because they weren't sure whether or not they were going to get another season.
Gotcha.
So the season finale of season 5 was, what could have been the series finale, but ultimately it wasn't.
Okay. So also coming out of D23, we had a couple other Marvel announcements. The What If series, we got some information of that. It's going to be 23 episodes, where each episode is about every Marvel movie. So.
Okay. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So like, what if?
So the one they talked about mostly is
Peggy, right?
Right. So Captain America, the original, it's what would it be if Peggy was Captain? So it'd be Captain Carter, and she's like sort of in this Britain outfit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
So that's the information.
Interesting premise.
I think it's smart. Just backtracking a little bit about the fact that they're connecting like the shows and the movies, because I love Marvel stuff, and I think I watched Daredevil, and that was probably it. I didn't even finish all of Daredevil because since there is no connection, there wasn't like a reason to watch it, if that makes sense. Like I don't watch TV shows as much, even though I like going to the movies and watching the movies. And so now that they're fully connected, it's like, in order to keep up, I have to watch those TV shows. So now I have to buy Disney Plus. Like,
if you want to know everything,
right?
Exactly.
To know everything. So,
I mean, I would definitely say that there is a reason to watch Daredevil because that was an amazing TV show.
Right.
But I definitely understand what you're talking about. Like one of the other TV shows, like I don't know, Iron Fist, for example. You're sitting there, it's not that good of a TV show, and you're kind of like, why am I watching this?
Right, whereas now it's like they can make the crappiest TV show ever, but if it's connected, you need to watch it to know what everything, all the details that could relate to the next upcoming movie.
Way back when they first announced the what was originally called Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2, everyone was under the assumption that Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage would be brought in for that movie because. Why wouldn't you want Luke Cage sitting there fighting? He's just Captain America, but better. Basically, because he's basically just Captain America, but he doesn't have a shield, but he has bulletproof skin. So.
Oh, okay.
Anywho.
That's fair enough. So he's Black Panther.
Yeah.
Without the suit, though.
He's just naturally Black Panther.
All right.
But obviously that wasn't the case, and the whole Netflix universe just sort of, it didn't feel connected, even though it quote unquote was.
Right. There was connections like I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though it's not a Netflix one, like it would be affected by the films. Like I know when Winter Soldier came out, it was all like, oh, that we're dealing with all the Hydra stuff, but obviously there's like barely any mention, if there is even, in the films.
Two big things is that the season 1 finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had Nick Fury in it. Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury.
Sure.
So, direct relationship. And I believe season 2 had Lady Sif in it.
Oh, okay.
From the Thor movies.
Yeah.
So, they at least attempted to try and make it feel a little more connected by bringing in MCU characters.
So, like, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show was affected by the movies, but the movies weren't affected by the TV show.
Right. Which, I think, with these Disney Plus shows, we're hoping for, obviously, if these characters are going to be in the films, then they have to have...
Hoping for a little bit of both ways rather than just the one way.
Which I trust that they will be doing.
We're pretty good with that kind of thing, usually.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that because if you know that something's specifically going to impact a movie that's coming out, then it's like, now you have something to do before the movie comes to, like, study the available information to like try to catch something that's coming in the movie.
Oh,
or whatever,
for theory crafting.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
well, people were talking about She-Hulk, who in her normal life is a lawyer.
A defense attorney.
Right. People were talking about maybe she'll be involved in the third Spider-Man film or whatever, and that's how she was like her series is building to be included into the third Spider-Man.
If there is a third.
Yeah. Well,
right.
So,
wow.
Talking about Spider-Man.
So,
I don't know if anyone hasn't heard, but
Team Sony or Team Disney?
I think I might be Team Sony. I don't know exactly what was going on there, but I feel like Disney was probably asking for way too much of the profits, which is why Sony was like, sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Well, we can't do that.
I want Spider-Man in the MCU.
I do too. Don't get me wrong.
Morally siding with Sony.
Oh yeah, of course.
It kind of just seems like Disney's being a little greedy.
Yeah, I feel like at some point there'll be a deal. At some point, like they'll work out something.
Yeah, I think it just hurt Disney's Marvel story.
I think it hurt Sony too much to not. Like, I think
that too, but
like they with Spider-Verse which was Sony, they did fucking
I don't think
incredible.
They need a live-action Spider-Man.
Right.
If they keep the rights to Spider-Man, I think Sony would do fine, but Disney would lose a lot by losing Spider-Man again.
Well, yeah. Incredible. They'd lose so much.
I mean, look how much the fans freaked out immediately when the news came out. The one thing I can say, though, is that once this occurred, there were a few things in my mind that popped up pretty cool about what they could do with the live-action Spider-Man. So, obviously, we have the Venom film, which didn't have Spider-Man in it. Which was a Sony film, right?
Yep.
So, we have, right now, coming out, a Venom 2. We have a Morbius movie coming out. And we have what's been talked about, a Kraven movie coming out. Okay. So, obviously, Sony does not have the rights to talk about Spider-Man as an Avenger. Right? They can't add any of that. But they could still take Tom Holland's Spider-Man and make him an already pre-established Spider-Man and keep doing their solo villain movies with Spider-Man as, like, a secondary character.
And just
for example, they could still do a Kraven solo movie and have it be Kraven's Last Hunt, but you can't do Kraven's Last Hunt without Spider-Man.
Right.
Right? So throw him in there as, the Last Hunt, but still make it a Kraven movie. They can make Venom 2 and then throw in Spider-Man for like a couple scenes or two, and that's when Venom, gets the spider emblem on him. Something like that. Just something to make it...
Yeah, it gets the spider emblem in his webs and stuff.
Right. Well, I feel like Venom 2 is going to be super, super hard to do without a Spider-Man, because it's obviously they teased Carnage at the end of it. So, and I'm not totally in tune with Carnage and Venom, but doesn't Venom usually team up with Spider-Man to take on Carnage?
That is
because
very,
Carnage
very
is fucking crazy and just fights everything.
Carnage is much stronger, right, than both Venom and Spider-Man. So, and if they just have Carnage, it's basically just a remake of the first movie, except now the other sequel is called Carnage, except for Riot.
Technically, Riot is also way, way stronger than Venom, but like that wasn't really factored into the first Venom movie that much.
You got lucky,
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a little bit. He just kind of blew him up in a rocket ship.
Yeah. Like, he couldn't beat him in a physical fight, which he didn't. But, I don't think he should have lasted as long as he did either, really.
Fair. Mike, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think for Sony, that's a good way of, like, using Spider-Man while potentially avoiding some backlash. Because I bet you inevitably there will be some people that, if they make, like, a Spider-Man solo movie, they'll be like, I'm not watching that because Sony took Spider-Man out of the MCU.
If they make, like,
another movie,
if Sony decides to make another Spider-Man solo movie, that's where I'm like, maybe don't do that.
Yeah,
especially if they do a backstory again.
Oh my god,
no one's gonna want to watch that.
Well, it would just start off with, all right, let's do this one more time, and then it would go into that.
Yeah. Yeah, the memes about with Tom Holland going, "Oh God, they're gonna kill Uncle Ben again."
Yeah. So there's one I saw where it was from an episode of SpongeBob. I think it's the one where they think Squidward's dead, but there's SpongeBob and Patrick standing next to a casket, and they're like, "Get in!" And it's like Sony to Uncle Ben.
Yeah, when they think Squidward's a ghost.
Yeah, I think it's that one. I'm not positive, but
yeah, but the Disney has been fucking killing Spider-Man so far. Like they skipped the fucking intro story. Just with introducing him in Civil War first,
rather than a solo movie,
right? And not even talking about the Uncle Ben stuff. Anyway,
I was reading an article about that when they were originally what are their names? It's like Christopher McFeely or something, one of the screenwriters for a lot of the Marvel movies. And when they were writing Civil War, they had basically the entire script was done. Ant-Man was originally on Team Iron Man as like the same role that Spider-Man was. And then like they were getting ready to like actually start making the movie. And they're sitting in their boardroom and Kevin Feige comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to need you guys to rewrite like a third of the script." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I got some big news." And they knew what he was talking about because they knew about the talks that he was having with the Sony guys. And they were like, "You got Spider-Man?" He's like, "Yeah, I got Spider-Man."
Oh yeah, but how many Spider-Man has been in what? 6 films?
He was in his 2 solo films, Civil War, both Infinity War films.
Okay, so 5. 5?
5? Yep. Nick, you got another one that I'm missing?
Nope,
no, I think that's it.
Just the 5?
Unless he was like talked about in another movie.
Well, I don't count that.
I don't think so.
Appearing.
He was talked about in Ant-Man.
Sure, but I mean more like appearance-wise.
Yeah, I don't think he's been like a role in any.
Yeah,
of the films.
I think he's just been in 5. But he's been really fucking good in all of them. So I think it'd be a mistake to not to. So I think your idea with putting him in villain movies.
I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying worst case scenario, they don't work out a deal. That's what I think Sony should.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
But I would still rather see Spider-Man in the MCU, obviously.
Well, 100%, yeah. But say they don't make out a deal. You're like, what do you do? Like, you have this big character that just, like, this big reveal just came out. What do you do?
It's tough because it's like, Tom Holland is such a good Spider-Man. It's like, finally we have like a great Spider-Man character, and it's like, all right, throw him on the background of the other movies.
You can't kill him either because he's set up to like be Iron Man's follow-up,
right?
Yeah,
which is a big deal.
Oh, from the MCU.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
you can't just knock him out of the MCU.
Oh, what do you do in the MCU?
Yeah, in the MCU, if Disney doesn't get him back, what do you do?
Mysterio scared him out of town. He just gave up superhero life.
Can you mention Mysterio? Do they own the rights to the? Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
I don't know the inner workings either.
You just have to.
I don't know how that contract works. Like, can you even like? Yeah. Like, these characters are in their movies. They have to have the rights to Mysterio.
They might. If they don't work out a deal for Spider-Man, Sony might let them, like, use him to close himself out of the MCU for, like, a scene in a movie.
Yeah, I heard that nothing ever came out of this, but I watched a video saying that there was, like, rumors of that they were trying to make a deal around the fact that Disney would get to use Spider-Man for, like, 6 more movies, or potentially a 7th, so, like, 3 solo movies and 3, like, Avenger-esque team-up movies, and then 1 extra one if they wanted to add to the deal or whatever, and after that, Sony would get them. But, so, like, that would kind of get you to be able to go through your entire Spider-Man in the MCU cycle. And then
just kind of drop him off.
Or bring in... Because, so, do they own with the Spider-Man stuff, could they bring, if they lose Peter Parker, could they bring in Miles Morales? Could they bring in?
I think they own Spider-Man, not Peter Parker.
But right? Then could they bring in Spider-Woman? Like, where does it end?
Yeah, you can just replace
it. All right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the actual rules are based off of what the comic book that the character first appeared in.
Okay.
Or what comic book they're most prominently featured in.
Gotcha.
If they're not the same.
So anything spider related, I think it's safe to say that they first appeared in a Spider-Man comic book. But for example, Scarlet Witch is most prominently an Avenger. However, in the comics, she is a mutant, along with her brother, Quicksilver, who is a mutant. So that's why you see in the X-Men universe, which is, now come to an end, but in the X-Men universe, you saw Quicksilver, and in the Marvel universe, you see Scarlet Witch. Because those are what comic books those two characters are most prominently featured in. So both universes have the rights to both characters.
Also, Sony made Into the Spider-Verse, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they clearly had the rights to all the different Spider-Man in that situation. So, I don't think Disney would have access to any of those Spider-Man, any of those alternative Spider-Man. So, it would kind of make sense that they wouldn't.
Are you saying they're not going to replace Peter Parker with Spider-Ham?
I hope they do.
Didn't they have another Quicksilver as well that they killed?
Yeah.
In what movie was that?
And I think that's the reason why they killed him too.
Right.
Because they probably had some talks with the guys over at Fox and were like, okay, you can have Quicksilver. We're gonna use him once, but we're gonna take Scarlet Witch. And they're like, yeah, that's fair. Because obviously they weren't gonna take Scarlet Witch because Scarlet Witch is hardly ever an X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And Quicksilver he's probably more of an Avenger than Scarlet Witch is an X-Men, but Quicksilver's more of an X-Men.
I like Evan Peters as Quicksilver as well. He's pretty good as Quicksilver.
I do. Yep. I do like that actor.
So we don't know what's going on. If it's deals completely, have they announced they're done negotiations?
I don't think so.
No.
Disney just made them a deal. So the original deal was, I don't remember how much, but Sony got most of the profits for the solo movies.
I know Disney was we want 50-50.
The new deal that they proposed. Right. So the old deal they had was Disney gets all Spider-Man merchandise. They sell all of that. Sony gets nothing from that.
Okay.
But Sony gets most of the solo movies, and any Avengers team-up movie Spider-Man is in, Marvel gets all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So what they wanted was 50-50 on the solo movies, as well as everything that they already had, which was just Sony's well, you're giving us barely nothing.
The problem is honestly, I bet they make more money off of merchandise than they do the solo movies.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In terms of toys and stuff like that and what kids want, Spider-Man is easily the number one thing I see that kids playing with, wearing shirts, stuff like that.
Which is why I think that it was just Disney being greedy, asking for a higher percentage when they already are getting so much money from everything else that they already had.
Right. Which is why I'm definitely more on the side of Sony, but as we stated before, I still want Spider-Man in the MCU.
Everyone wants Spider-Man in the MCU. I'm sure even Sony probably wants Spider-Man in the MCU, but they don't want to get completely shafted with this property that they have either.
Well, obviously Sony wants Spider-Man in the MCU. That's why they originally worked out the deal and gave them Spider-Man. They're like, well, we failed, so here you go.
We failed twice.
We know you're going to make a good movie, so go ahead and make them.
I don't really understand what Sony's counteroffer was.
I haven't heard about the counteroffer.
So they both immediately made it it was offer, deny, and then it was just stalemate.
Well, was Sony's just a sort of just a on their last deal, maybe?
I think they might have asked for more because they thought Disney was being rude.
Okay.
And it's something. had something to do with 5% of like movie like box office earnings or whatever, and I don't like. It seems like that's like a drastic.
It might have been 5% on the Avengers movies, on the team up movies.
Here, let me.
Sure, you can look that up.
Yeah, we can. Mike's gonna look this up. Nick, if you have anything to talk about in the meantime, while Mike does some researching.
I want to go back to Moon Knight for a second.
Okay, absolutely.
I think it's really cool that they're adding Moon Knight because this is the second character we're getting in the MCU that is directly related to real life mythology.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to if they're going to.
What's the first?
Thor.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you talk about Thor, then you have to talk about Loki and Hela and Odin, and Frey. You know, they're all related to real life mythology too.
Yeah. I mean,
I get what you
Thor
mean.
series, not specifically Thor.
Okay, but yeah.
So I'm curious to see if at all in the Moon Knight series they touch on. Obviously, I'm sure they'll touch on the Egyptian mythology with the god of the moon. But if they will go in a more large-scale fashion and talk about, I don't really know how it works is the problem, but like the sort of gods universe.
Oh, right? You mean like the Egyptian pantheon, or like?
Yes, but not specifically the Egyptian ones. I'm saying like Hercules is a Marvel character.
Right. Yeah.
So will this Moon Knight series be an introduction to a larger mythology-based MCU?
So they like bring in Hercules, bring in Ares, and start all doing that stuff?
Right. Think? Will there be a scene where we might see gods from different mythologies start to cross over or something like that?
I don't know.
Because I wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Hercules comes in the MCU at some point.
Yeah, Hercules is a decently big character in the comics, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him at some point. But
Ares
I don't know.
Is a pretty big character in the
comics. Yeah, that's why I mentioned him. I don't know if Moon Knight is the place for that, especially since it's like Greek and Egyptian and those.
Right, I'm not saying Moon Knight is the place to introduce Hercules, especially immediately in his first series. But I'm saying like we've had the Norse gods. Now we're getting into the Egyptian gods. Are we going to start to see more? I know Marvel is really pushing a lot of cosmic stuff with their upcoming movies. We have the Eternals, which we got a great shot of at D23.
Oh yeah,
they showed all of them in their costumes. Yeah. Yep. So that was pretty cool. Speaking of which, Kit Harington.
Mm-hmm.
Was supposed to be in the Eternals, which he is, and we finally figured out who he is. Kevin Feige revealed at D23 he is playing Black Knight.
Sure. I know like nothing on the Eternals except they're like not sort of gods, but not exactly.
They're not really gods. They're what they're called. They're not Celestials, right? Obviously, the Celestials are like Ego is not a Celestial, but they call him one in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
But the Eternals are like, an ancient race of just.
Are they just like immortal people?
How do
I don't know. I've never read Eternals or looked into them that much.
I mean, they were just by looking at the comics, you can tell they're a Jack Kirby series. They're just a very space-based humanoid race.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what can I find of them? Oh, that's right. Okay, so they were made by the Celestials, if that's right, to be like defenders of Earth or whatever. But
okay,
they didn't really need them, so like that's why they're not on Earth.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the Eternals either. Black Knight, however, is a pretty cool character in the comic book, so I'm excited to see. Not only am I excited to see Kit Harington playing Black Knight, I'm also excited to see Kit Harington back on screen with What's his name? He played Rob in Game of Thrones.
Oh, Richard Madden.
Yeah, Richard Madden. So they'll be back in screen together.
Oh, is he in the Eternals too?
Yep, he's playing one of the Eternals.
Cool. Speaking of casting stuff, we did get a bit of information with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where they talked about how the Sharon Carter character is coming back. So, like, Peggy's niece, right?
Very cool. Yep.
And then we also got a new character announcement. Wyatt Russell, who is... have you seen Black Mirror at all?
Yes.
Some of it.
Do you remember the playtest episode where it's like the dude...
Is that when he gets like stuck inside the
game?
Yeah.
So it's that guy.
Okay.
Is the actor. Is playing John Walker, a.k.a. Super Patriot or U.S. Agent, who is like sometimes a villain of Captain America, sometimes a hero. Like, he has also been Captain America.
He's mini Captain America.
Right.
Interesting.
Got an announcement for U.S. Agent.
We
got a rumor.
Yeah, this is like the rumor that I was talking about, and then it added more stuff.
Okay.
So the same like 6-movie thing I was talking about, and then it says
supposedly this is a deal that they're trying to agree on with the 6 movie, the 3 solo movie, and
So it says the other 3 movies are 2 Avenger films with Spider-Man, which Spider-Man will have a larger role with the Fantastic Four, becoming friends with Johnny Storm. Marvel Studios will helm and co-finance all Spider-Man related movies for 30% of the profits. Sony will distribute, but Disney will acquire exclusive digital and online rights for Disney Plus and affiliated TV networks. Marvel will helm and co-finance Spider-Verse live-action spin-offs under the same terms.
For 30%.
Whoa, Spider-Verse live-action spin-offs.
Supposedly. Rumor.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Rumor.
Venom will relocate to the MCU.
Okay.
Sony
Which is
will be given permission for TV live-action programs based on Spider-Verse live-action properties.
Well,
so this is a rumor, not confirmed.
Obviously.
Supposedly this is the deal that they're working on now, not the one that they already refused.
Right.
Yeah, this is as of 3 days ago. But.
Okay. Disney, you mentioned like TV stuff. Disney already owns like all animation of Spider-Man, like for TV.
Yeah. So they're asking for live action.
Yeah. So they're asking for live action, which is super, super interesting. Like bringing in Venom to the MCU would be
big
awesome.
Deal.
Yeah.
I don't think they would make a Spider-Man TV show, so I'm curious as what they want to do.
Well,
no, Spider-Verse
TV show. So probably following like Gwen Stacy or Miles Morales or something like that.
Okay. Right, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm curious as to what route they would go with the TV shows.
I feel like they got a lot of options, right? If they don't want to put Miles or Gwen as in a movie,
sure,
they can explore any of their story because they have a lot of stories. Explore their stories in a TV show instead.
Right, and technically those are it's super easy because Miles is in a separate universe, so it's not like they have anything to clash about there.
Well, Miles is already kind of in the MCU.
Right. That is true.
From what?
In Homecoming, there is a scene with Donald Glover is playing Aaron Davis, aka the Prowler, who is Miles Morales' uncle, and he mentions like when Spider-Man is talking with him, Aaron Davis mentions like his nephew or something like that. So there is slight connection.
So they don't even name drop him, but it is a slight reference.
Right.
I find it interesting what they're doing, that they would do a live action spin-off. Like, I feel like the cartoon was good enough.
But
already.
I mean, how long did that take to animate? Live action is way easier in that regard.
Also, Spider-Verse doesn't just refer to the movie.
Right, exactly.
It refers to just all of the Spider-Men.
Right.
And women.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that sounds better, I think, to me.
Yeah, 30% to Disney, 70% to Sony.
Yeah.
They might agree to that. Depends on what else
you
they're
said
getting.
This was 3 days ago, and there's been no... Again, rumor. So where's this from? Like, the report?
Boundingintocomics.com.
I've never heard of that, so I don't know if they're reliable.
This isn't from that,
Oh.
though.
I took it from somewhere else.
Rumor comes from TVO at Lords of the Long Box. Don't know what that is
either.
So it's a rumor.
Right.
It's pretty high up on Google, so
Okay.
I'm more inclined to believe it. But at the same time, I don't know who these people are. I also don't know who any of the people are who talk about this stuff.
Right,
So
sure.
that means nothing to me.
Okay.
But it seems reasonable, right?
Right. Way better than the previous deal that Disney was asking.
So even if this is fake, right, it sounds like something that could be close to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Venom. I don't know if they'll do that.
Bring him in. Yeah, it'd be super weird, too, especially since he's already had a film outside of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
If they brought him in, would they count the previous film?
Would they bring Tom Hardy in to do that?
So
probably, maybe.
I think that
he's probably already contracted.
Yeah, I would think so. Because
can they sell the contract?
If they keep him.
I don't know.
Let's say they did have Venom, and they could keep Tom Hardy as Venom. Do they change anything?
I don't think so.
Does Venom become canon?
I think they change small amounts in the to fit things in more snugly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I'm saying what needs to be changed?
I don't think they're
Is there anything that big?
Probably nothing
in
too
the
big
Venom
about
movie?
the character.
I think it's too hard for Disney to just be like, most of the movie's canon, but this scene doesn't count.
Right. I think they just canonize the whole thing, and then...
I would have to rewatch Venom, but I don't think there's anything in that movie that they can't just make canon.
Maybe some of the symbiotes dying, right? Because some of them die in their test chambers because they have no host.
Sure.
And they might want to use those,
they can
so
just retcon that.
They might retcon that. But that's the only thing I can think of.
And they can also always bring more symbiotes.
I mean, there's a lot of symbiotes.
Yeah. But yeah,
a lot of them are born from Venom.
From Venom, yeah. Right.
So I know in that there were a lot of memes about this interview between Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige. Way back when they were talking about the Venom solo movie and Spider-Man going to the MCU, and Amy Pascal was like, "Yeah, these two characters are gonna be in the same universe." And then you look at Kevin Feige's face, and he's like, "What the fuck is this bitch talking about?" But I think that they still wanted that, and they designed Venom in such a way that if they wanted to, they could just make that MCU canon.
Sure. I don't, as we were talking about, I don't think there's any major contradictions or any,
I think technically Riot is technically a child of Venom, so, them all arriving at the same time.
Maybe, but, I mean, MCU always changes the stories from the comics anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't think that's very much a big deal. Obviously, you bring in Venom, the second movie, you have Spider-Man in it, and then they team up against Carnage. And then, you can have Venom as, the anti-hero that he is, and, maybe be in team-up movies and stuff like that.
Disney has fucking Deadpool now, right?
Correct.
Interesting Venom Deadpool team-up movie.
Oh my god, that
would be a mess, but it would be great.
I would love that.
What the heck is this thing?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you?
Yeah, and jumps on him and tries to take over him, and it... How would that work? Has that happened before?
No, Venom kills him, but because he's Deadpool, he doesn't die, right? Because Venom just rots your insides or whatever. But It's just not working because he's Deadpool.
Look up right now, Venom Pool.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, it's 100% a thing, and it's amazing.
Deadpool versus Venom Pool. Oh my good lord.
I mean, yeah, you've seen his face, right? It's fucking mess.
He's fucking buff as fuck.
Venom Pool could 100% be a character.
Which would be pretty neat. if this is true and this goes through, that would be very cool.
Venom Pool even has a Funko.
Yeah, I think that's what I've seen him as.
Yeah. Earth Dimension 90211. Sure. Oh, it's from. Oh wait.
That's weird because I do want to like keep Deadpool, but that would be just a really funny interaction between.
I mean,
Deadpool.
They don't have to stay as Venom.
Yeah, they can
That's
just.
true,
It's a
like,
Venom can just unbind.
Yeah.
Deadpool, like in the mind, like when he speaks within his head, like that'd be
like Venom starts like breaking the fourth wall. Or
Venom breaks the fourth wall, and then Deadpool's like, "What the fuck are you doing? That's my job."
Deadpool talking to like breaking the fourth wall, and Venom be like, "Who are you talking to? Like, who are you thinking about right now?"
Or he, like in
Why do you just
Venom,
talk
he
out
tells
loud
Tom,
like this?
he tells Tom Hardy to jump, right? And Tom Hardy's like, "No." If it was Deadpool, he'd just jump.
Yeah, he'd just jump. But speaking of Deadpool, obviously with the X-Men stuff, we don't even know if they're going to continue making those films.
They gotta.
The Deadpool movies? I'm pretty sure there is a third one scheduled.
I mean, I'm sure it was scheduled back when Fox had the rights, but when Disney bought them, I don't know if they're going to continue, especially...
I think they would. It's making a lot of money.
I think Kevin Feige said something like they might continue making Venom or Deadpool movies, but they would keep that separate from, like, it wouldn't be MCU.
Okay.
Because obviously they don't want to make the previous Deadpool movie. Well, they can't make the previous Deadpool movies canon.
The time travel.
Don't worry about it.
I didn't see Deadpool 2, so I can't comment on that.
You didn't see Deadpool? I thought Deadpool 2 was funnier than the first one, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too.
I just haven't seen it.
You should.
I should, but yeah, there's a lot of movies that I should see that are comic book movies.
That's fair. But yeah, again, with the Moon Knight stuff, Deadpool sort of falls in. Are they going to do our stuff? So, because again, you can't do, you just can't do Deadpool as PG-13. It's just not gonna.
Yeah, no.
I mean, they've tried.
We don't talk about that.
If they do, then people would be generally upset.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather no Deadpool than a PG-13 Deadpool. So.
That's fair.
Is there anything else from D23 Marvel related? I think I went over everything I had. Nick?
The one other thing I could say is we got a pretty cool looking Black Widow poster.
Oh, right.
Where we get to see David Harbour as his costumed character.
What's it? Like something Guardian? Red Guardian?
Yeah, the Red Guardian.
Yeah.
So
I don't know anything about that.
I'm definitely excited for the Black Widow movie.
Has that gotten a rating?
That has not gotten a rating. So obviously I would love to see a rated R movie. I mean, I'm assuming the majority of the movie is going to take place in... Actually, that's probably not a safe assumption. Maybe not.
What, you think of Budapest?
No, well, maybe a flashback to Budapest. I was going to say I think the majority of the movie is going to take place in Russia, but that might not be accurate. I am excited to see Taskmaster in the MCU.
Oh, he's in that?
Yep, he's going to be the main villain of the movie.
Okay.
I didn't see this clip, but I heard that at the teaser trailer they released at D23, you see Taskmaster fighting Black Widow and you see him kind of getting his ass kicked, and then you kind of see him over time use his abilities, right? Where he begins to learn Black Widow's moves, and then over the course of the fight, you see him start to like copy her and then be able to like, I don't know, just deflect everything because he knows what she's going to do. So from what the trailer showed is they do a good job of sort of, what's the word? What do you use your eyes to do?
See. Perceive?
They do a visual. That's the word, visually. They do a visually good job of representing.
He gets a nat 20 on his perception check.
Yeah. Well, no, the audience does.
Oh, okay.
He gets a nat 20 on his performance check.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. He gets a nat 20 on his performance check for his abilities. So, because that's not necessarily an easy thing to show. Like,
a character adapting to another character's fighting style.
Right, and then copying. Like, yeah, you can just have the two characters fighting each other, but apparently it's like, kind of cool to see him over the course of a fight learn what she's doing and adapt. So.
Gotcha.
I'm excited.
Interesting.
Excited for that, and that's the only thing else I can say.
Marvel Is that the next film coming out for MCU? Right.
I believe so. It's May 2020. So.
Okay. Oh yeah. So we gotta. If that's the most recent, we have a big break then.
We do. This is the biggest break we've had in quite some time. Well, I mean, we were supposed to have
Guardians. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But that's pushed back to I think 2021.
Yeah, that got pushed back pretty far then.
Well, it got pushed back a while because obviously
because
James Gunn.
I know about James Gunn, yeah.
And then once he got rehired, he was already booked to do the second Suicide Squad movie or a reboot or whatever it is.
Yeah,
he's still doing that.
He signed that between his deals, so Marvel couldn't say no.
Yeah, so
they hired him again. So
that's why they're not immediately making Guardians 3 because James Gunn is like, yeah, I'll do it, but I'm a little busy right now.
Even with him directing, I don't think I'm going to see it, honestly.
I'm going to go watch it because I'm hoping they're going to make Croc better. Because Killer Croc is my favorite villain.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Guardians at first.
Oh, no, I'm going to see Guardians, Suicide Squad 2. I have zero. Like, my interest, I guess, is a bit higher now that James Gunn is directing it, but still, I don't know how you can save that.
All I know is James Gunn does characters well, and if he can salvage some of those characters, I'm gonna watch it.
Sure.
Let's see how the
I don't know if it'll be a direct sequel though.
I don't care if it's a direct sequel. I'd prefer it to not be a direct sequel, honestly.
If it wasn't. Yeah.
I just want the characters that were there done well and looking nicer.
I mean, they look like fucking Enchantress's transition from herself to Enchantress. Yeah. It was so cool.
Yeah, the little hand thing. That was really so cool. But I didn't like the look of Diablo, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like the look of Croc.
Really?
No.
Okay.
He kind of just looks like a turd monster. And I didn't like Joker.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
It's not like he looks bad. I just would have liked him to look different.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them were fine. Harley Quinn was fine. Katana, is that just her name? Katana? Is there another?
I think that is her name.
I don't remember, honestly, but she looked fine. Will Smith was fine. Fucking Deadshot.
Yep.
Yeah. Most of them were fine. Just some of the costumes I would have liked, to look different.
Mm-hmm.
My main issue with it was that the plot of the movie was just horrible.
Oh yeah, I mean
the writing.
The movie was ass.
Yeah.
But like the good parts of it were good.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen the whole thing.
You're not missing much. Yeah.
Like maybe I just saw the trailer of it because I remember like scenes of it, but I don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
Not at all.
If you want to see like a bad movie, you can watch it. It's not like a so bad it's bad movie.
Yeah, you're not gonna hate watching it. It's just not good.
It's no Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, it's no Spider-Man 3.
It's got good moments. It's got a really good use of music. It's got some cool shots.
I mean, it did win an Oscar before the Avengers.
That is true.
It did.
Oh wait, or is it a Grammy?
I think it was a grant. It was for the soundtrack, right?
No, they won for costume makeup.
No, I thought they won for best soundtrack.
They might have also won that, but they definitely won for like makeup or costuming. I don't remember which.
How come when I search Oscar, the first thing that comes up is a health insurance company?
Because you need health insurance.
Suicide Squad got best makeup and hairstyling.
There's no joke to that. I was just saying that.
You need health insurance.
I was gonna make a joke, but there's really no joke there.
You just really do need health insurance.
It's just a thing you need.
So, other stuff we got out of D23. Another big franchise is Star Wars.
I don't think so.
No?
I disagree.
Okay.
It's a tiny franchise.
Sure.
No one cares.
Okay. But instead of Geek Out...
well, except Cam, of course.
Sure.
Cam's nobody.
That's very fair.
I love you, Cam.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
But instead of Geek Out, I have a couple cards from the Star Wars Trivial Pursuit game. And I am just gonna I'm gonna pick one of you, and then I'm just gonna read off questions on the card. You get it right, I keep reading. You get one wrong, I'm gonna move to the next person. And then after all three of you, I'm sure do great, we'll move on to me, and we'll see how far that goes. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do better than you, because there are some hard as fuck questions here. I picked out some cards that have easier questions, so you'll probably get at least one or two, right? I'm not going in order of like first, second, third on the card. I'm just choosing what I think is probably the easiest. Does anybody want to go first?
For you all at home, feel free to answer.
Yes, sure. Absolutely.
And see how many you get.
Yep.
You're probably going to do better than us if you know anything about Star Wars. If you don't, you're probably going to do about the same.
I'll tell you right now, you'll do better than me.
Yeah, me, probably not going to get a lot.
I'd like to go first. What the band did.
Okay. All right. What color is Hoth as seen from space?
Seen from space?
Yep. What color is it?
White?
Yep.
Okay.
You're good.
I was overthinking that.
Yeah,
it seems like it would be white.
It's a snow planet. It should be white. Right?
I'm no winter expert right now.
What does Luke Skywalker cast aside before the Emperor attacks him?
He casts aside before the Emperor attacks him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember him getting attacked by the Emperor. I'm not going to lie.
Wait, who?
Luke Skywalker.
Oh, Luke? Okay.
Use that brain of yours.
What the heck? What is it?
I don't know. What is it?
What does he cast aside?
Throw away. What does he throw away?
Lightsaber?
Yep.
Okay.
You got it.
It's like
It's a lightsaber.
He's not holding anything except the lightsaber.
It was either going to be a lightsaber or an article of clothing.
Who addresses Luke Skywalker as Sir Luke?
C-3PO?
Yep.
I was like Master Luke?
Yep. Who is the first character to mention Lando Calrissian by name?
Han Solo?
Yep.
Okay.
Who discovers Princess Leia's discarded helmet on Endor?
Oh god. It's going to be one of those Ewoks. R2-D2.
No, it's Luke.
Oh, damn.
All right. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So.
Jordan. Who wants to go?
Do you want to first, Nick, or me?
I'll listen to you again.
All right. I'll go for it.
All right. How many seats occupy the Millennium Falcon's cockpit?
4.
There you go. Which one is better to pick? Who is the last to jump down the Death Star's garbage chute?
Han.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
I remember scenes.
Yep. Who asks Chewbacca if he was still hanging around with this loser?
Lando.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Who tells Anakin Skywalker there was an attack on the Jedi Temple?
Fuck, man. I feel like this is obvious. Padme?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which location, according to Yoda, will contain only what you take with you?
Wait, before Joe answers, can you repeat that question?
Okay. Which location, according to Yoda, will contain only what you take with you? Brain power. Use it. Think deep.
It's not the Death Star.
Episode 5.
Yeah, I know. I know what it is.
I picture in the scene. I don't know the name of the place.
Sure.
There's not a temple there, is there? No.
Don't think so. What could it be? What could it be?
Not Yavin. It might be Yavin.
It be? What is the place that he is talking about?
Darth Vader?
Thinking. The location.
Location? Fuck. I don't know. I give up.
Okay. The Dagobah Cave. Because he says, like, if you take your weapons with you, then you'll only, like...
Oh, he does go into a cave, doesn't he? And he sees a vision of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. I was thinking that, and then I was like, no, that's just in Battlefront 2, that cave. That's not a real place.
All right.
All right, Nick.
Nick?
Yep.
What nickname for a boxy two-legged power droid comes from the industrial automaton designation GNK?
Bro, what?
What?
Oh, come on,
man. This is like your
Reread
favorite
the question. Reread him the question.
What nickname for a boxy two-legged power droid comes from the industrial automaton designation GNK?
Think Lego Star Wars, buddy.
What's the name of the big boxy robot? This is what it's asking.
Is it just called like the Garbo droid or something?
Oh, no. The Gonk droid.
It's a Gonk droid, you goon.
So disappointing.
I thought you knew about... You like the Gonk droid,
Right,
don't you?
give him a...
All right. Which two Jedi secretly returned to Coruscant after the Purge?
Obi-Wan and Yoda?
Yep.
Alright, now I don't feel as much of a loser.
Okay. Oh, do you want me to keep going, or is that enough for you?
No, you can keep going.
Okay. How does Luke Skywalker address Darth Vader for the first time on Endor's Imperial landing platform?
Dada.
How does he dress him?
How does he address him?
Oh, address. Dad? Father?
There you go, father.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he just says father. What does the Star Destroyer Avenger jettison before entering hyperspace?
What is it, what?
What does it jettison before it enters hyperspace?
I don't know what that means.
Shoot out into space.
Yeah.
What does it get rid
What
of?
is a dump? Like,
What could it be? What could you possibly shoot out in space?
Garbage.
Yep. There you go.
Is that really it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Which planet is led by a prime minister named Lama Su?
Fuck. Oh, wait. I think I know.
Is it Jar Jar Binks' planet?
I don't know. It might be.
The problem is I don't know the name of Jar Jar Binks' planet.
Naboo.
Naboo.
Is that your answer?
Final answer.
Okay. Nope. Camino.
Yeah, I was thinking Camino.
Okay.
Oh, is that the...
When you said
the
Prime
clone?
Minister, I was like,
Yeah.
Camino.
Okay.
Is that the clone planet?
Yes,
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah, that is the clone planet.
You may either.
You want to take turns?
Sure.
You might either decide to go just down the corridor, whatever you determine is easiest. I don't care.
Do you want to
We
start
can
with that one?
swap back and forth.
That also works.
Okay.
All right. Whose last line in The Empire Strikes Back is, "That boy is our last hope"?
That's Obi-Wan, as the sort of X-wing is going up.
Sorry, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, there's so many Obi-Wans in Star Wars, you know. I guess I gotta
Really?
differentiate.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-Wan Badobi.
Yep.
Yeah, so many of them.
So many of them.
Who treats the Nexu to a swift kick in the ribs?
Padme.
Yeah, I don't even have to look at that one.
Who does Count Dooku, using Force Lightning, pick up and slam against a wall?
Oh, fuck. Well,
Oh, I know that one.
Dooku?
Yeah, Dooku.
Anakin.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of the two.
It's one of two.
Who's Anakin Skywalker?
Oh. God damn it. All right, I'll give you full name from now on. I apologize.
Who is Qui-Gon Jinn able to influence using a Jedi mind trick in The Phantom Menace?
Who is he able to influence?
Uh-huh.
Well, he doesn't influence Watto.
Correct.
Who? I definitely remember him doing it on someone. Did he? Was it Georgia.
You getting there?
Oh, Boss Nass.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
You don't want to sell me that.
Yes. Well, that's a different scene.
That's what first popped up in my mind when you asked me the question. I was like, yeah, that's not Qui-Gon.
You know that guy's name?
No.
No.
Alon Sleazebagano.
Is that really his name?
That's really his name.
Let's call this guy who's a sleazebag now.
Yep. Beautiful.
You're up, buddy.
Oh, yep. Who advises Chewbacca anxiously piloting a stolen ship through Imperial space to fly casual?
Oh, Han Solo. Yep. That's when they're in the Imperial shuttle, sort of approaching Endor. He's like, I don't know, fly casual.
What color is the drink that Aunt Beru serves as dinner?
Blue! Come on,
it's
blue
the
milk.
blue milk.
Different from green milk that Luke sucks out of a titty.
Yeah, that alien milk.
What is the purpose of that scene?
I
show you that Luke sucks milk out of alien
He
titties,
doesn't give a fuck anymore.
No, I think the purpose of that scene is he's trying to act weird to sort of get Rey to leave him.
Okay.
But she's,
persistent.
Yeah. I don't think he normally... I mean, I imagine he drinks the milk, but I doubt he does it in such that way, you know? At least that's how I interpreted it.
The Emperor tells Luke Skywalker that he has allowed the rebels to learn the location of what?
Ooh. He, Could you read that again for me?
The Emperor tells Luke Skywalker that he has allowed the rebels to learn the location of what?
The shield generator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is waiting to greet Darth Tyrannus upon his return from Geonosis?
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which type of starfighters are visible in the hangar bay on Hoth?
The snowspeeders.
X-Wings.
Oh, fuck. Yep. Yeah.
Got
Yeah. No, that's right. Yeah.
Get got.
Got me. You got me. Okay.
Okay.
It's very fair. Okay. Got through that. Okay. So, now, speaking on the D23 news, got a bit. Not, like, obviously as much as Marvel, but we got some. The Clone Wars is set to release in February of 2020. So, awesome. Got a new release date on that.
Sweet.
Fantastic. Always great. New Mandalorian trailer drop. Looks pretty fucking good to me. We know that it takes place in 9 ABY, so 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So, like, the Empire has fallen, but there's still, like, remnants of it. That's why the, like, stormtroopers are still around and stuff like that. So we know that.
Did you watch the trailer, Kim?
Yes, I do. I'm fine with watching non-movie trailers. Or for Star Wars, I don't watch the main series, and that's about it. I watched Solo and Rogue One trailers. I'm fine with that. But the main series, I don't want to know anything. So we got, again, not too much info reveal. I think there were only like 2 or 3 lines of dialogue throughout the entire thing. So we didn't get much info. Like, it's the Mandalorian dude. He's obviously... He seems to be at conflict with stormtroopers because he's, like, surrounded by them and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He teams up with an IG droid.
Yeah.
Who is IG-11, who is being played by Taika Waititi.
That robot is like one of my favorite characters from Star Wars that you never really see that much.
Yeah,
what's the IG droid?
So IG-88 is the first appearance we get
from Rogue One.
From Episode 5, the like bounty hunter lineup on the Star Destroyer, like IG-88. Yeah, he's like got this like cone head type thing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
In The Mandalorian, we have a droid designated IG-11. So he's like part of the same series, similar. The body type is a bit different, but it's the same model.
Design choice, probably.
Yeah, right. So...
Did you say he was voiced by Taika Waititi?
Yep.
Because I heard that he was in it, but I didn't know who he was playing, so that's cool.
Well, Taika Waititi is also directing some episodes, but he is playing that character as well. Which I don't know if like it's an actual voice or it's like beeps and boops, because they have been both in the past. So not entirely sure. But we have that, and we also got like a shot of a bunch of dudes in carbonite. So like in episode 5, Han is like, and they're in the chamber and stuff like that. They're like, oh, we need a test subject because we don't really know if this is going to work on Luke. So they use it on Han to like transport him and be in, and he like survives the carbonite freezing. And then we have the big lineup of all the dudes. I think it was like 4 or 5 guys in carbonite. Mm-hmm. So obviously this is now like a practice that bounty hunters use to sort of transport their bounties. And we also got a fucking awesome shot of like the dude tripping a dude with like a grappling hook and then shooting the door, and the like door crushes the dude.
Oh.
So I mean, clearly there's some intent of darker themes there. It cuts away. I don't know if it'll be like if you'll see like the dude be cut in half or anything like that.
Probably not, but maybe.
Probably not.
Sounds a little more aggressive than just shooting him.
Right, yeah.
If you have time to shoot the door, why not just shoot him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the fun.
Dude, you gotta have flair as a bounty hunter.
You're right.
You gotta make a name for yourself. Like, I want the dude that cut a dude in half with the door. Cut
the guy in half with the door, not just shot him in the head.
Yeah. So we got that. There's a couple
look like an accident.
Honestly, you just start getting bored as a bounty hunter, so you gotta come up with cool ways to.
I get really tired of killing people sometimes, so I just kill them in different ways now.
Yeah. Other than that, there was like a couple appearances of like original trilogy aliens rather than like random. So like there was like Twi'lek, the hair tail. Like
the tentacle hair people.
Yeah. There was a shot of like a Quarren, which is like some canon stuff. But there is like precedent for actual. They're bringing in aliens from the original trilogy and stuff like that, but they also have talked about they're bringing in new stuff, as they usually do. But for Mandalorian, it's not really a story trailer. It was like hey, this is a thing, you should go watch it. We really don't know much of what the story is at this point. Just following a bounty hunter. Don't even know his name yet. Or if they will ever reveal his name or his face. Who knows?
It's true.
Mandalorian is just the name of the armor that Boba Fett and Jango both wear.
It's like, so Mandalorian is a race, and it's also
race,
like a culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they wear that armor also.
Right.
But it's Mandalorian armor because the Mandalorians
wear it.
Yeah. Wear it.
Yeah. So we don't know if this guy just so
you don't know if he is a Mandalorian
or if he just has the armor. Right. Which is
because Bobo and
Jango is not right. In the new canon, they said it's kind of fuzzy. It's like the Mandalorian. So in the canon around that time, the Mandalorian government are pacifists. So they're like, no, we don't associate with this guy at all, like type thing. But it's not really clear, at least to me. Maybe they've cleared it up if like he is actually a Mandalorian or not, or if he's just like he stole armor or whatever. But either way, they're generally referred to as Mandalorians still. Mm-hmm. So this guy's a Mandalorian because of that, essentially. So we don't know much about it. That they showed a couple other characters, like if you've seen Breaking Bad, Gus Fring is a character. I don't know if either of you've seen Breaking Bad.
I've seen like the first 2 episodes of Breaking Bad.
I have not seen Breaking Bad.
Okay, so don't need to talk about that. But there's like some other actors, and they've revealed some character info. But other than that, not really story-wise have we gotten anything. It could be, I don't know if it's like an anthology, like it could be just like Bounty of the Week type thing, like, or it could be like a overarching story. But other than that, I don't think any info came out for Star Wars. I don't think so, right? Yeah, just nothing else? No? Nothing big that they might have announced? I don't think so. Wait. Yeah, they did. Fucking Ewan McGregor is coming back, and they're making a fucking Obi-Wan series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome.
How old is Ewan McGregor now?
He's in his 40s. I mean, it lines pretty
He's
up
not
well
that
with
old.
Obi-Wan's age.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than Obi-Wan actually is, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Or maybe 2 years older, actually.
It lines up very well, to be honest. He's always been, like, near his age throughout the film. So this series is going to take 8 or 7. It seems like there was an article mix-up of, like, on the timeline they showed 8, and in the article they wrote 7. So it's not clear if it's 8 or 7 years after Revenge of the Sith. But obviously, big... it's like a big time difference.
Right.
So we're going to be seeing... And the thing about that is you can't really do, like, giant things with Obi-Wan, because he's supposed to be, like, hidden and protecting Luke. So it's not like he can do much, but there's still been, like, old EU stories that are super interesting that they've done before of just Obi-Wan on Tatooine.
I hope it's just like a webcam of inside his little hut.
And it's just Ewan McGregor just living life in a hut for a while.
Whatever. He like, pans like outside. He's going outside like tending to his farm animals.
Yeah. You know, he like runs into Tusken Raiders like one time.
Yeah.
But he's like,
and that happens in the first episode.
The Jawas come bother him once.
Oh,
or twice.
yeah.
No, it's not webcam. It is the Tusken Raiders like stalking.
Oh yeah.
Viewpoint from some Tusken Raiders the whole show.
Then like the very end of the last episode of last season is like when he meets up with Luke in the movie. Like.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, I think that's about comments about that, maybe theories about what that could be, perhaps.
I don't know.
And that's my theory right there.
Yeah,
Does seem like a tough plot to get a lot out of, but should be interesting.
I mean, there is stuff to do. Like, it's obviously lower tier than what you've seen Obi-Wan deal with in the past.
Conquest.
Yeah,
battling.
He like, there's this story of him meeting. I don't think they're gonna do it, but there's this character called Asherad Het, who is like a Tusken Raider. He was in the Clone Wars. He was a Jedi, but then he goes back to join the Tusken Raiders, and they sort of talk a bit, and eventually he becomes a Sith Lord like 100 years later.
Jeez.
Don't worry about it.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's just not. And he became like, yeah. So I don't think they're gonna talk about that. But
that's very weird. I'd never really thought about like a Tusken Raider not just being a Tusken Raider. Like,
I mean, they're like a group of people, right? Like,
yeah, but it's just,
Anakin kills their children, and like,
it doesn't seem like they are, because they're always just like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't see the human side of them.
Are they actually human, just wearing costumes, or are they a different race?
No, they are like a different race. So, but yeah, like just like shit, like maybe dealing like with problems in Mos Eisley or whatever. It's not going to be giant or anything like that.
He goes pod racing a couple times.
Yeah, sure. Goes pod racing. Probably not going to be anything with Darth or Maul at that point, because
no,
he's busy with the crime syndicate stuff with that we saw in Solo at that point, because they did the placement of the Obi-Wan series is like during Solo, you know, like the gap of Solo, so it's during that time.
Do you think there'll be some Watto action?
Ooh, is he alive at that point?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
He'd be old, but
he is, because they revisit him.
Vader visits him in the comics, but again, I don't remember if that's canon or not.
But Anakin revisits him when he's old and he's got a hat and he doesn't have a store anymore, I think, right?
Right, yeah, but that's in episode 2, which is...
Yeah. But that's not that big of a time gap.
That's about, what was that? Episode 2 is 3 years out of 3, and that, so like 10, 11 years.
He could still be there.
He could definitely still be there, but... Yeah, that'd be interesting to see Watto again. Maybe they become friendly, you know?
Yeah.
He gets better in his old age.
Yeah. Maybe mind tricks eventually do start working on it.
What's he called?
Toydarian.
Toydarian.
Yeah.
Mind tricks only work on really old Toydarians.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess if they don't bring in WoW, they'll at least bring in like a different Toydarian at some point. That's kind of similar or something. Yeah. It's just like a funny recalling back on like, are Toydarians like native to Tatooine?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then never mind. But
they were sort of featured in the Clone Wars a bit, if you recall. Maybe not, but
are they like a relative to the Geonosians?
No.
Just happen to look similar.
Yeah, just like flying dudes.
Yeah.
No,
I was never really sure if they were all like the same shape or if Watto just kind of happened to be like a fat one.
They look around like they sort of look. In the Clone Wars, they deal with like them joining the Republic and stuff like that. Like the first episode of the Clone Wars.
You're talking about the TV show.
Yeah. Not the.
Whenever you say the Clone Wars, I just automatically assume the movie.
But
yes, okay.
This is like.
Okay, so they're not. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Sure.
They all sort of look.
They all look similar to Watto,
right?
But not like the exact same.
They all got the elephant nose. They all got the wings and
the eyes.
Yeah.
Like weird elephant feet things.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'd say definitely Watto's on the fatter side, and maybe not the most honorable guy around, obviously. But yeah, there's definitely some things that they can do there that I'm very no release date. I think they announced that they're starting filming. Is what they're
a while probably.
It's going to be a while,
yeah. But
I am very, very excited. I was going to obviously get Disney Plus anyway, but this is like
definitely
very gonna keep it around until that comes out type thing.
I think I was gonna originally do like the monthly thing as opposed to buying it for the year and just like try and watch everything in like a couple months and then do it again in a couple months. Right. But with all this stuff, that's just not possible.
Yeah. Oh, they did. Disney Plus has announced that they are doing weekly. They're not like releasing all the episodes and you binge.
Ooh.
It's they do weekly episodes.
I kind of like.
Does that mean you can go back and watch after they're all?
Yeah, you can watch. Yeah, but it's like HBO does it.
That was one episode a week.
Just wait till the end and then buy a month and then watch all of them.
Right.
Or if you don't care about spoilers.
Speaking about Disney, I got one more quick thing before we start to wrap up at the end. I was listening to a radio show this morning, or a financial radio show.
Radio?
Yeah.
Do you listen to the radio?
I don't typically, but I listen to.
You live in the 40s?
This morning I was like, I like financial stuff. So I was like, I'm going to listen to a financial news today. And I went to like AM radio and found one. And they were talking about Disney. And they were like talking about box office ratings. And I'm going to list off the top 6 box office ratings right now. And we'll see if you find anything in common with them.
Okay.
Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
The Lion King.
Yep.
Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
And Aladdin.
Oh, all Disney.
So Spider-Man Far From Home is technically Sony, but
sure,
Disney
all
gets
Disney.
money from it.
Yep.
And we still have Star Wars to come out.
Yep.
And so all of those, so the lowest one of those, Aladdin, was $353 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next 7th is Universal Studios with Us. And
which was the Jordan Peele movie.
Jordan Peele, yep.
And
which was
decent horror movie. Not great.
Not as good as Get Out.
Not as good as Get Out, but interesting.
It's about half of what Aladdin was.
Okay.
So Disney's fifth most money-making movie was more than double the next major movie company's biggest movie.
Right.
So like just utterly dominating.
Oh yeah, they just own so much now.
Yeah, there's arguably like a monopoly of the movie field.
You're getting there,
like,
yeah.
I don't know if to look at the exact definitions. A lot of times you can get away with being a monopoly, but like Amazon is technically not a monopoly, even though they have so much stuff because it's so diversified. It's not all one product.
But yeah, it's
something I don't like, but at the same time, it's like I just love everything that they're making. So it's like I still like
Right.
It's not
they don't like that they own everything, but they're not doing bad things with it yet.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like if there's a store I hate and I think they're doing bad things or whatever, like I would boycott them, but I won't boycott this because I want to watch Star Wars and Marvel. And,
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not watching the Disney remake or the like classic Disney remake.
I don't watch any of those either. I just don't expect them to be as good as the original.
Yeah, there's no, especially like live action. Even
you can't do as much with CGI and live action as you can with an animated character. So I
have no interest.
I get it with some of the movies, like, I don't know, princess movies have a lot of human characters, but a movie like The Lion King just seems weird.
Yeah, where there are
like
no
literally the
humans.
entire movie's got to be CG.
Yeah, you've just got to CG the whole movie, and that's doable and can be interesting. But like, why not just animate it at that point?
You bring back James Earl Jones to voice Mufasa, but you have a whole different cast for some reason.
I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah. That was the only character voice actor they brought back was James Earl Jones for Mufasa.
Wow.
Weird.
Well, they did it, and it made a fucking lot of money.
Oh yeah, I'm
so,
sure.
Like,
I'm sure though. Yeah, those things make crazy amounts of money because they have the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
So.
If it works, just do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? They already are. So.
If you skip Us, how many? Like in the top 10, do they have more?
Most of the rest are uni.
Yeah, there's not another Disney specifically till 15.
Oh, okay.
It was just Dumbo.
Oh yeah, that came out.
So they got the top, and then not much.
I mean,
under
Dumbo
that.
probably made what, like a couple $100 million, if that.
I'm confused by these numbers because it says like Endgame was 858.
So it's domestic.
This is domestic product.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Dumbo was 114 domestic.
Okay.
Right above Glass, actually.
Which is another fucking good movie.
Glass was a good movie.
I still haven't
Just
seen Glass, and I don't want any spoilers, so don't talk about it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it either.
Not saying anything about Glass.
It's been this long, and I haven't had like a single bit of the movie spoiled to me. So
Well, I don't think there's really. I mean, if you're not, it's not like a major movie that everyone's seeing type thing. So you're not gonna get spoilers like a Marvel or Star
You're not
Wars.
getting everyone talking about Glass.
Yeah.
What makes me happy is right under Glass at 17 is Godzilla, which is pretty good.
Was it good? Yeah.
For a Godzilla movie. Like most people like that now because Godzilla is a known name.
Sure.
But just like a big monster movie doesn't usually do like super high revenue.
A Monster Mash.
Exactly. So it's good to see that
Mash.
there's still a market for that.
Yeah. I mean, the Us being at number 6, that's how far down you have to go.
Number 7.
Or number 7, that's how far down you have to go to get an original IP, like not part of a series, not part of a thing.
Right after that is John Wick 3, so.
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon, Hidden World,
Yep.
Secret Life of Pets 2,
Yep.
Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw,
Yep.
which is...
It's part of the Fast and Furious, so it's not original.
And then Detective Pikachu.
Right.
Technically original, kind of.
In
Movies.
Sure. But yeah, original IPs still exist, but they're hard
Did
to
anyone here see Detective Pikachu?
Nope.
No. It's not like I didn't was boycotting or anything. I just didn't have the urge to. I'll probably watch it at some point.
Yeah.
We had plans to, and then just never.
Yeah,
ended
we
up
did have.
going.
Actually, a bunch of us had plans to go.
We
and see
made
it.
plans
We just
to go
never
see
did.
like 3 different movies, and
Yeah, we didn't see any of them. It was
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu, the
Dark Phoenix.
Phoenix, and then the
And-
horror Superman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brightburn.
Brightburn.
Yeah.
Brightburn. We didn't see
I
any.
still really want to see Brave. I'll
We'll
buy
have
that at
we'll have
some
a movie marathon and watch all 3 of them.
Yeah, we'll wait till they come out on DVD and then just buy them.
Well, Brightburn's already out.
There you go.
All right, we'll watch it and we can talk about it next week.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, maybe not next week, but eventually.
But in any case, that's going to be it for today's episode. If you have any content that you'd like us to talk about in the future, any suggestions for what we could do to improve our podcast, or any mean and hateful comments that you just really got to send to us, make sure to let us know down in the comments below. I've been Michael.
I'm McCann.
Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we're going AFK. See you next time.